Hi everyone, it's Destiny here, and I need to get something off my chest. I've stayed quiet for a long time, and honestly, it's been eating me up inside. Today, I can't stay silent anymore. I need to finally tell you the truth about Melody, Tisha, and Martell. There are so many rumors, so many stories out there, and I've seen people picking sides, saying things that just aren't right. But this is my side, my real side. I'm not here to start drama, but I can't keep pretending like everything is fine. Some of you may know bits and pieces, and some of you may have no idea what's been happening behind the scenes. Either way, by the end of this video, you're going to hear the whole story, from me, exactly how it happened. So take a deep breath with me, because this is going to get real. Before I get into everything that happened, I think it's important to give you a little backstory, so you can really understand why this all got so complicated. Melody, Tisha, and Martell. We've all known each other for a while, and at first, things seemed normal. We hung out, worked on projects together, and honestly, I thought we were all friends. But over time, little things started to change. Small misunderstandings turned into bigger issues. I remember the first time I felt that tension. It was during a group project we were doing. I had put so much effort into it, staying up late and making sure everything was perfect. And I noticed Melody acting a little cold, like she was upset with me for no reason. Then there were the rumors Tisha started spreading. At first, I didn't take them seriously, thinking maybe it was just drama or misunderstanding. But then I realized these small things were building up, creating cracks in our relationships. And Martell, he was caught right in the middle. I trusted him, but sometimes his actions, or the things he didn't say, made situations worse without him even realizing it. By the time all of this came to a head, it felt like every conversation, every social media post, and every little message could spark another problem. Looking back, I can see how it all escalated, and today, I want to share what really happened, what I saw, what I felt, and what everyone was really doing behind the scenes. Now that you know a little about the background, I want to introduce you properly to the people involved, because understanding who they are makes everything that happened make sense. First, there's Melody. On the surface, she seemed like the perfect friend, smiley, helpful, always saying the right things. But as time went on, I started noticing little hints of competition. She always wanted to be first, to have the best ideas, and sometimes I felt like she was trying to one-up me, even in moments that were supposed to be fun. Then there's Tisha. Tisha is outgoing, confident, and has a way of making everyone listen to her. But she also had a side where she would stir things up, spreading rumors or making comments that, at first, seem harmless but end up creating tension. I found myself constantly walking on eggshells around her because I never knew what she might say next. And finally, there's Martell. Martell has always been kind, someone I trusted and considered a good friend. But the tricky part about him was that he didn't always speak up when something was wrong. Sometimes he stayed quiet when he should have said something, and that silence caused misunderstandings between all of us. Each of them had their own side of the story, their own reasons for behaving the way they did, and I want you to understand that before I tell you what really went down, because once you know their personalities, you'll see why things escalated the way they did. Everything came to a head one evening during what was supposed to be a simple hangout. I remember feeling excited at first because I thought it would be a chance to clear the air and just enjoy time together. But almost immediately, the atmosphere felt different. Melody made a comment that seemed small, but it hit me in a way I wasn't expecting. Something about my work on a project that made it sound like I wasn't trying hard enough. I tried to brush it off, but I could feel the tension building. Then Tisha jumped in with a remark about something I had allegedly said about her, which I never even said, and suddenly, I realized that rumors were spreading faster than I could even react. And Martell? He was quiet, which usually would be comforting, but this time his silence felt like he was agreeing with them, even though I knew he wasn't. My emotions just hit a breaking point. I felt hurt, frustrated, and completely misunderstood. Everything I thought we had, trust, friendship, understanding, felt like it was slipping away right in front of me. That night, I realized that small misunderstandings, jealousy, and miscommunications had stacked up over time, and now it had exploded into something I couldn't ignore. It was in that moment I cared about most that I knew I had to finally speak up and tell the truth about what really happened behind the scenes. All right, now comes the part I've been holding back for so long. The truth about what really happened with Melody, Tisha, and Martell. I want to start with Melody. Over time, I started noticing that she was always trying to stay a step ahead of me. At first, I thought it was just competitiveness, but then I realized she had been sharing some of my personal ideas with others and taking credit for them. It wasn't huge, but it felt like betrayal because I trusted her as a friend. I confronted her once about it, and she denied everything, but I could see in her eyes that there was some truth to it. Moving on to Tisha. She was the one who really stirred the pot. There were so many rumors going around about me that she had a hand in spreading. Some of them were small things, like twisting a story, but others were big, enough to affect friendships and make people doubt me. I never expected someone I considered a friend to do that, and it really hurt. And then there's Martell. Martell was caught in the middle, and honestly, part of me wanted to be mad at him too. But looking back, I realize he didn't mean to hurt anyone. He stayed quiet during arguments, hoping things would fix themselves, but instead, his silence sometimes made me feel abandoned, like he was taking their side. It's complicated because he truly cared about me, but he just didn't know how to handle the situation. Seeing all of this together, the hidden actions, the unspoken words, the rumors, it all explains why things escalated so badly. I wasn't crazy for feeling hurt. I wasn't imagining things. The truth was there all along. And finally, I realized that the only way to move forward was to face it head-on, speak my truth, and stop letting these misunderstandings control my life. I'm sharing all of this with you because I want you to understand what really happened without the gossip or rumors. This is me being honest, raw, and completely transparent about the people I once trusted the most. After everything that happened, I had a lot of time to think and reflect on not just the actions of Melody, Tisha, and Martell, but also my own. At first, I was angry, hurt, and confused. I kept asking myself why people I trusted could act in ways that made me feel betrayed. But over time, I realized that holding on to anger wasn't helping me, and that every person involved, myself included, was just human. We all make mistakes, we all miscommunicate, and sometimes even good intentions can lead to hurt feelings. I learned that trust is fragile and that it's okay to set boundaries with people, even friends. I also realized the importance of speaking up when something bothers you, instead of letting silence build tension. Most importantly, I understood that while it's painful to see the flaws in people you care about, it doesn't mean the relationships are worthless, it just means they're real. Sharing my truth in this video isn't about blaming anyone. It's about acknowledging what happened, processing it, and growing from it. And I hope that by hearing my side, anyone watching who has faced similar situations can feel seen and understand that it's okay to speak your truth, even when it's hard. Life isn't about perfect friendships or flawless people. It's about learning, forgiving, and moving forward while staying true to yourself. After everything that happened, I had a lot of time to think, really think, about not just what Melody, Tisha, and Martell did, but also about myself and how I reacted. At first, I was angry, hurt, and honestly, confused. I kept replaying moments in my head, asking myself over and over, why did this happen? Did I do something wrong? Could I have handled it differently? Those questions haunted me for days, weeks, even months. But over time, I realized that holding on to anger and resentment wasn't helping anyone, not me, and certainly not my relationships. I started reflecting on my own actions and realized that sometimes I let small things slide instead of addressing them early. I avoided confrontation because I didn't want to create conflict, but that allowed misunderstandings to grow. I learned that speaking up in a calm, honest way is so much better than letting feelings fester silently. I also realized that relationships are a balance between understanding others and protecting yourself. It's not selfish to set boundaries, it's necessary for your emotional well-being. Most importantly, I understood that while it's painful to see the flaws in people you care about, it doesn't mean the relationships were fake or worthless. It just means they're human, just like I am. People make mistakes, miscommunicate, and sometimes hurt each other unintentionally. And yes, some actions might be deliberate, but even then, it's not about blaming. It's about recognizing reality and learning from it.